He had done this before, long ago. Ever since arriving in the ancient star of antiquity, every time he recalled those events, he would be overwhelmed by agony and rage. He had sworn never again to sacrifice his magical artifacts to divert an enemy just to save his own life. To him, some artifacts, if lost, would bring pain even more unbearable than death. Like the teleportation cauldron of that year. Like the primordial thunder dragon. If he knew that the teleportation cauldron had helped Wang Lin escape death multiple times. If he knew that it was precisely the primordial thunder dragon that had grown up with him, which gave Wang Lin the chance to become a thunder cultivator, earned him fame throughout the Luotian star domain, and ultimately birthed the thunder origin itself. If he knew all this, he would cough up blood from sheer anguish. I am a man of grand fortune, chosen by heaven, favored by fate. At the age of 8, I unearthed a 500-year-old yellow essence and swallowed it whole. At 13, I fell off a cliff and landed beside a 500-year-old vermilion fruit. At 18, during Foundation establishment, I gained the primordial thunder dragon. When battling a powerful foe after reaching the core formation stage, and defeat seemed certain, a massive cauldron suddenly fell from the sky and crushed my enemy. From then on, everything went smoothly, rivers and mountains painting, soul-drawing peak, spirit-refining needle. One magical treasure after another came into my hands. The only failure in my life has been in pursuing heaven-defying. Until I met this damned nemesis, he took all my magical artifacts, stole all my efforts. Yet I still had great fortune. I survived, even encountered more lucky opportunities, gained stronger magical treasures, achieved even greater cultivation. But this cursed bastard still won't let me go. He actually followed me into the ancient star of antiquity. As Greedy Wolf recalled his life, grief and fury twisted across his face. He staggered backward in panic. Wang Lin stepped forward, a faint, unreadable smile on his face. Seeing Greedy Wolf throw away the purple jade vial and watching it shoot off in another direction, he gave up chasing Greedy Wolf and flickered toward the vial instead. Seeing Wang Lin change direction, Greedy Wolf quickly waved his right hand. A golden soul banner appeared in his grip. The moment it emerged, it radiated blinding light that illuminated the starry sky. Embroidered on the banner was a strange, fearsome beast. It had the body of a dragon, but no claws. Instead, it was covered with countless wings. Half of its body seemed merged with clouds, as though soaring through them. Greedy Wolf swung the banner fiercely. A piercing howl burst from within, thundering across the heavens like rolling storms. The beast on the banner seemed to come to life, roaring as it emerged from the banner and instantly wrapped around Greedy Wolf. Together, they transformed into a black cloud and shot off at terrifying speed, faster than before. Wang Lin ignored him. With a single stride, he swiftly caught up to the discarded purple jade vial. With a sweep of his sleeve, he stowed it away, laughing aloud as he turned and vanished in a flash, shrinking the distance between stars as he gave chase once more. This Greedy Wolf, truly a lucky star on my path of cultivation. Wang Lin laughed as his figure disappeared. Wrapped in the dark clouds, Greedy Wolf was carried by the bizarre beast. Nearly 100 pairs of wings on its back flapped rapidly, each beat boosting their speed exponentially, until they became a blur beyond mortal sight. Behind him, waves of spatial ripples rolled through the starry sky in relentless pursuit. Like waves on the ocean, they surged closer and closer, and within those ripples, the faint silhouette of Wang Lin emerged, chasing faster and faster. Yet Greedy Wolf's speed had already reached its peak, always maintaining a set distance ahead of Wang Lin. Even with Wang Lin's mastery of Thunder Origin, he couldn't catch up in the short term. But Wang Lin wasn't anxious. As the saying goes, to meet an old acquaintance in a foreign land is a rare joy. At this moment, he was quite delighted. Seeing Greedy Wolf again had been unexpected and surprisingly satisfying. Especially now, as Wang Lin had already discerned that all of Greedy Wolf's magical artifacts were connected to the 3 ancient clans. He had confirmed the source of Greedy Wolf's treasures. That place might be of little use to others, but to Wang Lin, it was an unimaginable stroke of fortune. And for the one who had unknowingly led him to this fortune, Wang Lin found Greedy Wolf increasingly pleasing to the eye. Persistent ghost. You just won't stop, will you? Greedy Wolf's chest tightened, as though stabbed by countless needles. The searing pain stemmed from watching his artifacts be stolen with his own eyes. He took the floating terror sword, the 9 bone steels, the celestial emperor furnace, the mist demon spear, even the ancient with spirit. He didn't spare the ancient breath leaf, nor the demon soul vase. Half of all my magical artifacts have become his. And this damned Wang Lin still won't let me go. He won't stop until he's stripped me clean. The more greedy Wolf thought, the more enraged he became. Roaring in fury, a surge of wrath burst from his heart. Grinding his teeth, he suddenly stopped running and spun around, eyes bloodshot, glaring with savage intent. I'm done running. I'll fight you to the death, you damn bastard. Greedy Wolf's voice was hoarse with rage. He was, after all, a monstrous force of nature, steeped in blood and violence. If not for being terrified of Wang Lin, and that crack in his Dao heart that made Wang Lin a haunting shadow in his soul, he would never have fled without a fight, much less ended up in such disgrace. At this moment, he was pushed to the limit by Wang Lin, and for an instant, he forgot the shadow of the nightmare. He swiftly made a hand gesture and flung his hands forward. In an instant, there was a tremendous rumble as a massive space rift tore open in front of him. The demon wolf descends, punish the heavens, and destroy the Dao. Greedy Wolf roared as his clothes fluttered wildly, his hair rising without wind. From the rift in front of him, an overwhelming wave of demonic energy erupted. Wang Lin recognized this demonic energy immediately. It was the aura of the ancient demon. The demonic energy surged out from the rift, and as it spread across the starry sky, a red mist rapidly appeared, pouring out of the rift and swiftly swirling into Greedy Wolf's 7 orifices. Screams of pain echoed from Greedy Wolf's mouth, his veins bulging, his face contorting in agony. His clothes shredded with each low growl, revealing a suit of dark radiance armor. Behind him, the stars seemed to reverse, and a colossal phantom, about 10,000 feet tall, materialized with a thunderous roar. The phantom resembled a wolf, a demon wolf. As this demon wolf appeared in the starry sky, the demonic aura in the surrounding space intensified, forming a massive vortex centered around Greedy Wolf. The demonic energy swept outward, like a raging tide, engulfing an area of 1,000, 10,000, even 100,000 miles. Within this 100,000 miles, everything was absorbed into the mighty vortex. As it spun, it created a deafening rumble. At the center of the vortex, the demon wolf's body emanated a crimson glow, with its eyes almost violet. It threw its head back and let out a bone-chilling wolf's howl. The sound was deafening, shaking the very heavens. Every living being that heard it would be struck with a deep, soul-shattering fear. Ancient demon. Wang Lin's expression darkened slightly. The demonic energy's impact forced him to reveal his figure, which had blended with the heavens. The moment his figure emerged, the demon wolf howled again, its head lowered, its eyes locked on Wang Lin, and it lunged forward. In Wang Lin's eyes, the beast's charge was like a falling demon star, and around it, the demonic energy that formed the vortex began to contract and condense, as though the demon wolf had become an endless void. With the demonic energy contracting and condensing within 100,000 miles, the starry sky itself seemed to be pulled, creating a massive gravitational pull that made it almost impossible to retreat. Everything happened so quickly. In the blink of an eye, the demon wolf was nearly upon him, its massive mouth opening wide to swallow Wang Lin whole. Back then, you stole my magical artifact. You deserve to die. Now you're here to take it again. You deserve to die. I, Greedy Wolf, have cultivated to this point without ever being humiliated like this. You deserve to die. 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 Greedy Wolf's voice was shrill, almost driven to madness. Wang Lin remained calm, a cold snort escaping his lips. As the enormous vortex of demonic energy, formed by the demon wolf, bore down on him, a series of popping sounds came from his body. His form suddenly expanded, and in the blink of an eye, he grew to nearly 1,000 feet tall, transforming into a 6-star ancient god. The ancient god star mark on his forehead spun rapidly, and Wang Lin took a step back, raising his right hand with a low growl. A blood-red light exploded, filling the sky. From a distance, it looked as if Wang Lin's right hand held an entire world of blood-red light. This blood light radiated with a blinding glow, and in Wang Lin's raised right hand, it morphed into a massive, 100-foot-long blood-sword. With the sword in hand, just as the demon wolf's gaping mouth neared within 10 feet of him, Wang Lin swung his right hand down fiercely. The 100-foot-long blood-sword crashed down, releasing a sword radiance that shot up for miles. The radiance was a deep crimson, like fresh blood. From afar, it looked as if Wang Lin wasn't holding a sword, but rather a giant whip, the tail end whipping through the air, directly colliding with the oncoming demon wolf. The world-shaking roar echoed as the sword radiance struck the demon wolf's head. The beast howled in agony as the sword radiance cleaved through its skull, splitting its head wide open, revealing a massive crack. The sword radiance surged into the crack, tearing through everything in its path. The gap in the beast's skull widened, deepened, and with a final thunderous crash, The sword passed straight through the demon wolf's body. With a single strike, the demon wolf was split in half. The two halves of the beast's body, torn apart by the violent impact, flew past Wang Lin's sides like a powerful gust of wind, scattering into the starry sky behind him in a V-shaped formation. Only the sound of an unwilling howl remained, faintly reverberating through the heavens and earth. Wang Lin's expression remained unchanged as he lowered his head, his gaze like a burning torch fixed on Greedy Wolf. Fear filled Greedy Wolf's eyes. With a piercing scream, he immediately retreated, his right hand swinging. Without hesitation, he summoned his most powerful magical artifact, a broken wooden sculpture. But just as the wooden sculpture appeared, Wang Lin's calm voice echoed through the starry sky. Freeze. Greedy Wolf's body froze in place, unable to move an inch. The terror in his eyes surged dramatically. Don't be afraid. Answer a few questions, and I won't kill you. This nemesis is too despicable. He has this binding divine art, yet he didn't strike earlier, but waited until I revealed my strongest treasure before using it, shattering my last hope. Greedy Wolf's body, including his primordial spirit and primordial energy, not to mention his divine sense, could not move an inch. He could only watch helplessly as Wang Lin slowly approached from afar. The broken statue emitted no aura and quietly floated to Greedy Wolf's right. As Wang Lin advanced, his body gradually shrank. By the time he stood before Greedy Wolf, he had returned to a normal human size. He didn't immediately address Greedy Wolf. Instead, Wang Lin reached out with his right hand and pulled the broken statue into his grasp. Seeing Wang Lin take away his strongest magical artifact, Greedy Wolf's heart felt like it was pierced by a sharp sword, over and over again, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times. The intense pain made Greedy Wolf's anger surge, and blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. A mere magical artifact, Senior Greedy Wolf surely wouldn't be so stingy. You gifted me many magical items in the past. Now that we meet again and you offer these, I, Wang Lin, will accept without hesitation. Wang Lin smiled, his gaze falling on the broken statue, carefully inspecting it. Upon closer inspection, Wang Lin's expression immediately changed. The statue seemed ordinary, with many cracks and an eerie appearance. It depicted a person. The person looked middle-aged, wearing a flowing Taoist robe. His appearance was unremarkable, but there was a faint, indescribable aura of authority emanating from him. This aura wasn't overwhelming or terrifying, but when Wang Lin's gaze met the statue's eyes, his entire body trembled. It was a tremor, a shiver. Before Wang Lin, the starry sky shattered instantly, tearing everything apart. An indescribable force exploded from within the statue, rushing directly into his mind through his eyes. In Wang Lin's ears, the heavens and earth roared, even the thunder was violently torn apart. The entire starry sky, the entire universe, everything in existence collapsed into nothingness in that instant. In that void, Wang Lin lost his mind, his entire being struck by this force, sinking into confusion. How much time passed, he didn't know, 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years. Until one day, Wang Lin saw a continent appearing in the sky, in a universe that no longer existed. This continent was boundless, and he vaguely sensed something profound. The range of this continent far surpassed the ancient stars, surpassing even the inner realm. Even when both were combined, they couldn't compare to a tiny fraction of this land. The vision in his mind dissipated, fading into nothingness. Wang Lin shuddered, suddenly awakening. The starry sky was still the same starry sky. The heavens and earth were still the same. Greedy Wolf, however, showed deep fear in his eyes, frozen in place by the binding technique. Wang Lin remained silent. No matter how many years he had spent lost in that strange state, in reality, when he woke up, he knew it had all been but a fleeting moment. If one were to measure the distance, it was the instant when his eyes met the statue's eyes. Was it an illusion? Wang Lin's expression grew complicated. He couldn't comprehend, but everything he had seen in his mind was deeply imprinted in his heart, never to fade or be forgotten for his entire life. So, what is this? Wang Lin's gaze fell again on the statue. This second look felt entirely different from the first. The seemingly ordinary statue now exuded an indescribable aura of authority. This authority could reduce all cultivators before it to mere ants. Even the heavens themselves would have to bow in submission. Wang Lin could faintly sense that even a third-step great power would tremble before this statue. Who exactly is he? Wang Lin fell into silence. The only statue he had ever seen that was remotely as shocking was that of the immortal Emperor Qinglin in the land of demonic spirits, which could shatter one's mind upon viewing. But compared to the statue before him, Even though the feeling of mind-crushing pressure was not as strong, Wang Lin could sense that, in comparison, Qinglin's statue was like an ant. The statue depicted an ordinary middle-aged man. The man had his head raised, his expression calm, neither happy nor sad, with no emotion on his face. This statue, where did you get it? Wang Lin continued to stare at the statue, not looking at Greedy Wolf, and spoke slowly. As he spoke, he waved his right hand, loosening Greedy Wolf's binding technique slightly, enough for him to speak. It was from an ancient tomb. Greedy Wolf remained silent for a moment, sighing inwardly before answering. To enter the ancient star of antiquity, you must break the sealed realm Grand Array. With your cultivation, it's impossible for you to open the formation. How did you get in? Wang Lin's voice was cold, tinged with a hint of chilling intent, piercing through Greedy Wolf's mind, making him tremble. It was still that ancient tomb. All of my magical artifacts, the floating terror sword, bone guard steel, mist demon spear, celestial emperor furnace, as well as the eternal wood spirit, ancient breath leaf, and demon soul vase, were all acquired from that ancient tomb. Greedy Wolf whispered, having abandoned all resistance. He understood that if he spoke the truth, he might still have a chance of survival. Otherwise, the person in front of him was a being filled with murderous intent, someone who would never show mercy. If he provoked the slightest suspicion and was subjected to soul search, even if he didn't die, he would lose his mind and become a soulless being. Wang Lin's gaze flickered as he looked at Greedy Wolf and slowly said, "What ancient tomb? Speak clearly, and don't make me resort to soul searching." Greedy Wolf dared not conceal anything, and hastily began, speaking in a low voice. "After I escaped beneath the moon-gazing beast, I did not die, but hit on a half-abandoned cultivation star in the Luotian star domain, where I evaded your pursuit and focused on healing my wounds. A long time passed, and since I saw no sign of your pursuit, I assumed you thought I was dead and felt at ease resting on that cultivation star until I had fully recovered. Only then did I choose to leave. By that time, you had already left Luotian, and the entire Luotian star domain was desolate. Most of the cultivators had gone to the Alliance star domain to wage war, giving me an opportunity. I traveled safely, but after much thought, I didn't want to return to the Alliance, and because I had been swallowed by the moon-gazing beast back then, my body and even my primordial spirit still bore that lingering foul stench, which could be smelled from afar, making it unbearable for me. So, I wandered the starry sky, searching for a way to rid myself of the stench. Year after year, until one day, at the edge of the Luotian star domain, I accidentally neared the location of the barrier of the Flash realm and discovered a strange vortex. The vortex appeared suddenly, as though it had just opened right in front of me. I wasn't surprised. In my life, I've encountered even stranger things. Even back when I was still at the core formation stage and fought with others, when I was about to lose, the teleportation cauldron fell from the heavens, crushing my enemies to death. Wang Lin frowned and interrupted, "Get to the point." Greedy Wolf shuddered, hastily saying, "After that vortex appeared, I immediately felt an intense sensation. It was a feeling stronger than anything I've experienced in my life. Even when the great cauldron crushed my enemies, it wasn't this strong. Not even when I saw the moon-gazing beast back then." He stopped when he saw Wang Lin's brows furrowing again, and his heart chilled. He quickly stopped talking and said, "Without hesitation, I entered the vortex. The moment I stepped inside, the vortex immediately vanished, from its appearance to its disappearance in less than 3 breaths of time." Wang Lin's gaze flashed coldly, staring at Greedy Wolf. Slowly, he spoke, "It seems that vortex was opened specifically for you." Greedy Wolf's expression changed drastically, and he quickly spoke, "I'm not lying. Every word I say is from the heart. I know you might not believe this, but it's the truth. These things have happened to me more than once. When I was 8 years old, while playing in the village, I kicked a yellow essence, fell off a cliff, and found a vermilion fruit. I fought with someone, and the teleportation cauldron fell from the sky and crushed my enemy. Others had to fight for the rain cauldron to enter the rain immortal world, but while I was flying, the rain cauldron automatically flew to me. When entering the immortal world, others carefully searched for immortal jade, and they obtained very little. But when I entered for the first time, I was sent directly to the cave mansion of an immortal king. There was also an ancient ruin in the Alliance star domain, where most people struggled to find the entrance. But I stepped in and was teleported inside after just 3 steps. Greedy Wolf feared that Wang Lin might not believe him. If he were lying, it would be fine, but he knew that every word he spoke was the truth. Sometimes, even he found it hard to believe. "Continue. Tell me what you saw after entering the vortex. Wang Lin interrupted Greedy Wolf's explanation and slowly spoke. The vortex felt like another world, extremely chaotic, and there was spatial turbulence all around. A single misstep would result in eternal damnation. Countless floating giant stone fragments surrounded me, and in the deepest part, there was a mist, obscuring the view. I couldn't find an exit and was trapped there for hundreds of years. The place was full of death energy, and after observing, I realized it seemed like a tomb. In fact, on one of the giant stone fragments, I saw a massive head. It was around 100 feet in size, hideously deformed, with a star mark on its forehead. It was there that I discovered the Celestial Emperor Furnace. At that time, there was incense smoke rising from it, as if it was being used in a ritual. As I delved deeper, I gradually found more heads. These heads radiated strong resentment and unwillingness, and some even had single or double horns. In front of some of these heads were magical artifacts. Greedy Wolf's eyes revealed a mix of nostalgia and subtle fear. One day, while moving between two massive fragments of stone, I encountered a violent surge of spatial turbulence. With my current cultivation, I would have been killed instantly by the impact. In the face of this crisis, I had no choice but to retreat in haste, stepping deeper into that place. As I reached the edge of the deeper zone, I immediately heard piercing, mournful howls echoing madly from all directions. The sound struck my ears and made my body tremble. It was a shudder that came from my very soul. I dared not wander recklessly. Years passed before I finally gathered the courage to consider leaving this place and returning to the outer area. I had a growing sense that the deeper parts were not a place I should be. If I ventured further, it would mean certain death. But just as I cautiously tried to leave, I was swept up in a violent storm. Gravely injured, I lost consciousness. When I awoke, I found myself in a vast and withered forest. The forest was enormous, so large that even extending my divine sense couldn't cover it all. Every tree in sight was dead, stripped bare of leaves. Fearfully, I moved forward through the decaying woods. I don't know how many years passed, but eventually, I saw something unique, a single massive tree that hadn't completely withered. It held just one withered yellow leaf. It was the first leaf I'd seen in this place. I took that leaf, and even stored the not-yet-dead tree inside my storage bag. I had no idea where this forest was in the grand scheme of this strange realm. I could only keep walking forward. As I went on, it felt as though centuries, millennia, were passing. The further I traveled, the worse the decay became. By the end, the trees crumbled into dust at the slightest touch. Then one day, I reached what I believed to be the center of the forest. There, I saw a statue. The moment I laid eyes on it, I had a faint suspicion. Perhaps it was because of this statue that this endless forest had withered and died. Sensing its value, I took the statue. The instant I picked it up, a vortex materialized before me, identical to the one I had entered through. Overjoyed, I charged into it without hesitation. When I emerged, I found myself in an unfamiliar star domain. Only later did I realize I had arrived beyond the sealed realm. Greedy Wolf finished speaking and looked toward Wang Lin. A subtle glint flashed in Greedy Wolf's eyes. He had noticed, midway through his story, that the body immobilization art restricting him had worn off. Now, seeing Wang Lin deep in thought, Greedy Wolf grew increasingly tense. He slowly and cautiously began to back away. Then, with a sudden burst of force, he tried to flee. But just as he darted away, Wang Lin casually raised his right hand and grabbed at the air. Greedy Wolf let out a miserable scream as his body was instantly caught, as if seized across space, and pulled straight toward Wang Lin's hand. Just as Wang Lin's palm was about to strike his crown, a strange suction force emanated from Wang Lin's palm, surging directly into Greedy Wolf's head. Overwhelmed by fear, Greedy Wolf screamed, "You promised not to kill me." Even as the words left his mouth, Wang Lin's palm landed squarely on his head. Divine sense exploded forth, sweeping through Greedy Wolf's essence spirit and scouring his memories. At the same time, Wang Lin's mighty divine sense surged, accompanied by rolling thunder and flickering lightning that echoed through the starry sky. Gathering into his right hand, this lightning crashed into Greedy Wolf's essence spirit. Infused with Wang Lin's thunder origin, it washed through him like a cleansing storm. Greedy Wolf trembled uncontrollably, sweat soaking him in an instant. Then, with a flick of his right hand, Wang Lin hurled him far away. "I won't take your magical artifact for nothing. Go." Greedy Wolf's face was deathly pale. Without hesitation, he bit the tip of his tongue and spat blood, causing his speed to skyrocket. He turned into a streak of rainbow light and vanished in the blink of an eye. In the vastness of space, Greedy Wolf's eyes showed the look of someone who had just survived a great calamity, mixed with lingering resentment. That's the second time he's stolen all my magical artifacts. I swear this will never happen a third time. Most of my artifacts are gone. This land of falling stars is too dangerous. I need to get back to my cave mansion and retrieve what I left behind. I must leave this place. Grievance clouded his face as he fled. After teleporting countless times and confirming that Wang Lin wasn't pursuing him, Greedy Wolf's figure flickered and disappeared. He reappeared on a cultivation star. The moment he arrived, he flew straight toward a distant mountain. Transforming into a streak of light, he landed at the base of the peak. With a sweep of his sleeve, a deep rumble echoed out, the mountain split open, revealing a narrow crevice. Without hesitation, Greedy Wolf stepped into the crevice. But just as he entered the cave mansion, his body suddenly froze. A foul stench rushed out from the crack, slamming into him with such force that it nearly knocked him unconscious. Why does it stink so much? Greedy Wolf cursed, then suddenly trembled, his whole body freezing for a moment. He quickly raised his arm to his nose and took a careful sniff. His expression shifted to one of disbelief. The stench on my body, it's gone. Even my sense of smell is back. I had grown so used to the stench in this cave mansion that I couldn't even smell it anymore. Greedy Wolf's eyes lit up with joy. For hundreds of years, he had longed to rid himself of the foul odor that plagued him. After missing his chance to obtain the eternal scorpion corpse due to Wang Lin, he had fallen into despair. Never would he have imagined the stench would simply vanish on its own. I can't just take your magical artifact for free. Greedy Wolf suddenly remembered what Wang Lin had said before leaving, his expression turning complicated. After sparing Greedy Wolf, Wang Lin turned and walked away, returning to the cultivation star where the Dark Scorpion clan resided. Greedy Wolf had gone ahead of him, crossing the boundary between the inner and outer realms to wait at the ancient star of antiquity and hand over the artifact he had worked so hard to obtain. Add to that the joy of reuniting with someone familiar in a foreign land. How could Wang Lin possibly kill him? This Greedy Wolf is my lucky star. I can't kill him. I must let him go. I'm even looking forward to our third meeting. I'm sure he'll bring me more magical artifacts then. A faint smile appeared on Wang Lin's face as he shook his head and emerged on the cultivation star of the Dark Scorpion clan. Nearly 1,000 cultivators of the Cloud Evasion clan still hadn't dared to leave, waiting anxiously. Zhang Dahong, now rejuvenated, strutted about arrogantly, pointing at a few high-level cultivators from the Cloud Evasion clan to heal him. He reclined sideways, letting out cold snorts every now and then. With each snort, the surrounding cultivators trembled in fear. Their gazes toward Zhang Dahong were filled with awe not because of him, but because of the one backing him. Especially after seeing the reaction of the clan leader when he saw the jade pendant, everyone understood they had provoked someone they absolutely shouldn't have. Calamity was surely at their doorstep. The Dark Scorpion clansmen who had previously been driven away were now respectfully invited back by the Cloud Evasion clan, given healing pills, and even the elder surnamed Zhang Dahong's attendant, was treated with utmost respect. If only you'd known this would happen. Why bother resisting earlier? Humph. I told you fools before, but you wouldn't listen. What use are those eyes of yours? Zhang Dahong stood with 2 female Cloud Evasion cultivators massaging his shoulders, looking smug as he berated them loudly. It's not that I look down on you, but with your cultivation? Forget my master, even I wouldn't spare you a glance. One slap is all it would take to send you all flying like ants. Zhang Dahong lifted his chin, speaking with disdain. The surrounding Cloud Evasion cultivators all nodded repeatedly, agreeing humbly. Even the prideful among them had no choice but to bow their heads in silence at the looming threat of destruction. The clan leader and several elders of the Cloud Evasion clan stood beside Zhang Dahong with flattering smiles, nodding over and over again. Please, my lord, forgive us. We truly didn't know your identity. If you could just speak a few kind words on our behalf, we'll make sure to send you a generous gift afterward, said the Cloud Evasion clan leader bitterly. Though his cultivation was far superior to Zhang Dahong's, in normal times he could have easily killed him with a flick of a finger. Now he had to treat him with the utmost care. Zhang Dahong, enjoying the massage from the female cultivators, gave a pleased hum and said arrogantly, since you know your mistake, I should give you a chance to repent. But the Cloud Evasion clan leader immediately stepped forward, flipped his hand, and produced a jade vial. Pain flashed in his eyes, but he gritted his teeth and handed it over. A small token of respect. Please accept it, my lord. Zhang Dahong opened it, saw what was inside, and his face lit up. He tucked it into his robes and gave a deliberate cough. Very well. I'll see what I can do. Just then, the sky above rippled with waves, and Wang Lin's figure stepped out from within. The instant he appeared, Zhang Dahong's expression changed dramatically. He leapt to his feet, shoving aside the two women behind him, plastering a flattering smile on his face. Welcome back, master. My lord, I haven't seen you in days. Without your voice to guide me, I've been lost. I can't even meditate properly. I feel so empty inside that I have to chant your name 100 times just to calm my heart. But even then, it's nothing compared to how much I miss you deep down. Only when I see you, only by your side, can I feel at ease. Zhang Dahong hurried forward, bowing low and unleashing his invincible divine art as he spoke, cautious not to overdo it and risk offending Wang Lin. All the arrogance he had shown before the Cloud Evasion clan was now completely gone, replaced by fawning submission. The cultivators of the Cloud Evasion clan were witnessing this for the first time, stunned speechless. Even the clan leader, who had just handed over a precious gift, stood frozen in place. He couldn't comprehend how a man could change so drastically in the blink of an eye. Why are you still standing there? Get out of the way, don't block my master's path. Zhang Dahong rushed ahead of Wang Lin, pushing aside several cultivators from the Cloud Evasion clan. He even shoved their clan leader aside, as if he had completely forgotten the joyful expression he had when accepting the generous gift earlier.